Hello Cancer, this is Olivia from Dawes Tarot. I'm here to do a reading for you for the week of, well, today's May the 12th and it's kind of late in the day, so this will be good through Saturday the 16th. It's going to be a general reading, so it might not resonate with everyone. And then also, if it doesn't seem to resonate with you, please don't try to make it fit, because it might not be what you need to do, or if it's advice, you might not need that particular advice. So just be aware of that. Okay, I'm going to pull one of the oracle cards here for you, just to get a theme for the reading for the sign of Cancer for the week of May the 12th through the 16th. What is it that Cancer needs to be aware of? Two came out. Let's see what we have. Oh my gosh. The first one is called death. Now this doesn't mean that somebody's going to die. It usually means there's a situation that needs to end. But let me read it to you here. It says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. So there's going to be an ending in this reading, but there's also going to be a beginning. The next one is called denial. And this one reads, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So there's probably some fear about leaving something. And even probably more fear of beginning something new. Now this could be in a relationship. It could surely be in a job or career. It can be in just about any situation. Let's go ahead and get the layout here and we'll see what's going on. Isn't that funny? They both start with the letter D-E. Death and denial. What do we have for Cancer for the week of May the 12th, 2020? Okay, now I did reverse some of these, just a very few. So it's important to get a better reading if you have things in reverse, so the deck is not upside down. It's just this is the way I have pulled some of the cards to flip them so we can get a better understanding. And in this particular situation, this is usually a fun and kind of celebrating. But in this case, there's not going to be a celebration. And it's usually amongst friends, perhaps families. It could be a combination, maybe coworkers. It could be anything. And maybe this is the end of a job. And this is like a goodbye. I don't want to see you no more. That kind of energy. That could have been well, because it's cups, it could be starting out as something to do with a relationship, like a romantic type relationship. Or it could just be a real close friend also, because this does represent friends. Okay, it tells me that it's about work. Of course, the Eight of Pentacles is about hard work, long hours. This type of work is like apprentice work. So it's a specialty work where there was some training that had to be done. This can also indicate that there's a need for training for a different type of job. Or maybe you're just not happy with the kind of work you're doing. With the Three of Cups in reverse, that doesn't say celebration and having fun. It's like, it's basically more like stress. Oh my gosh, and then there's the Tower. So this could be the end of a job. It could be very well the end of a job. The Tower, of course, talks about the divine stepping in. If there's some situation that you've been in for way too long and you've been feeling it, that you know you should move on and you don't, and you keep resisting it because you're only staying for the money, it's not really emotionally fulfilling. This could be this type of situation. And when you don't, and if you don't do it on your own, then the divine does step in and he clears that path for you so that you can have that path open to you so you can do something you do enjoy. So the Tower is not bad, but it does indicate that there's something that needs to be eliminated, which in a sense would coincide with the Death card. It's the end of something. Oh my gosh. This represents a new beginning. So this is both the Death and the Wheel of Fortune. Because it says, I am learning that, let me read this. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. And how appropriate, right? An ending of something. And this is a brand new beginning because there's been a cycle that has ended here finally. It's like, it takes a lot for you to get this. So there must have been some suffering. It must have been drawn out too long. Maybe the people you work with weren't very pleasant. Things on that nature. So this is a new beginning. And this is the Wheel of Fortune indicates things are about to turn in your favor. Sorry. So things are about to turn in your favor, Cancer. I think it's nice. Sometimes it seems hard with the Tower, but it's got its purpose. It does have its purpose. Because like it says in the card here, you can't have a new beginning without an ending. So that's what that is about. And you could have been in denial for quite some time, like I said, which would be your second card. Denial about the kind of work you're doing, or perhaps the people you're working with is more what I'm getting. Because when you're with the Three of Cups, that represents emotions. And when it's in reverse, they're dry, they're empty, it's not fulfilling anymore. Okay, now the Sun in reverse is just as good as it is in the upright. And the Sun always shines a brighter light on the negative cards within the entire reading. So for the Tower moment is not going to be so harsh. It's not going to be, it might be, put it this way, if there was a job that you didn't like and you just kept staying and finally maybe you got released or let go, it'll hurt for a moment, but then you'll think, oh God, what a relief. And again, it's the ending of a cycle, which tells me that this is true in this situation. It's pretty amazing. And here we have, now the Seven of Wands talks about, in the upright it talks about protecting or shielding yourself from enemies, or being an advocate for those that are less fortunate to be able to fight for themselves. But it's like when it's in the reverse, it tells me that you're kind of giving up. You're giving up. You're accepting it. You're not going to fight it. You're going to let it, whatever the ending is, you're going to just let it happen. Which is good. There's no need to resist it. And then there is going to be a need for some time out. You'll be able to heal. Just take some time out. Rest. Get yourself rejuvenated. Get back to your old self perhaps. You know, maybe you weren't as happy at this place and it kind of was dragging you down. Take that time out to rest. And this could very well have something to do with the situation with the virus that we're going through at this time. There's so many people that are getting laid off even as we go from week to week. The employment rate is getting really high. I'm sure that some companies did try to stay on, but it gets to a point where you can only take so much. And this is a good card to have here too, because this tells me that it's now time to harvest. So whatever money you might have, like in a savings account or something that you've been putting away while you were doing this kind of work, it's there for you if you need it. So it's time now, if you need it, to go ahead and take it. Or it could also mean that you might be getting a severance pay for all your work that you've done through, say, many, many years you've had this job. You may be getting what's called a severance pay, where they give you the money to kind of say thank you for all the hard work you've done. And it could be for something that you've done 7 years ago. Maybe you worked there for 7 years with the Seven of Pentacles. Maybe you got, for each year, you got so many coins, for instance. That's nice. Because it doesn't feel like it's a bitter, angry kind of situation. It feels at ease. Now, this card was upside down. This one talks about the end of conflict and stress. And again, it reminds me of this. It must have been the type of environment that you weren't happy in. There was too much fighting and arguing amongst, say, your workers or your co-workers. So it was a blessing in disguise is the way I see it, which is probably why the sun is here. This is like a blessing in disguise. That is so nice. I like it. Let me get one more card and see what we get for the wrap up. Oh, the Queen of Swords. So it may have been your supervisor, perhaps. And she's the one that did the cutting. And maybe she chose who was going to get cut and who's not. Because, you know, if they're losing money, that could easily happen. Ah. I would say that's a beautiful reading for you, Cancer. I wish you the best. So I will see you on the bottom of the deck. Justice, of course, for Cancer. You do things by the book. Thank you so much. Namaste. See you next time.